Hi and welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. In my last couple of videos, I've been talking about compassion, empathy, and using strategies to learn how to deal with children and helping them deal with their feelings. In this video, I'm still going to go under that category because I'm still under the same topic. And this video is going to be more about frequently asked questions that parents and educators have about working with young children. So right off the bat, I'm just going to give you 4 questions. I'm going to answer them with my own responses. And of course, as I mentioned previously in the last videos, I am getting these questions and this content from a book called How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and How to Listen So Children Will Talk. And that book is written by Adele Faber and Elaine Maslish, and it's an excellent book. So the first question, is it important that I always empathize with my child? My answer is going to be no. You don't always have to show empathy to your child. There are situations where you kind of have to show the child who's the boss. Here's an example. Let's say the child wants something that he or she can't have. He or she wants candy during snack time, but the snack that is available that has been offered is not candy. Let's say you offer them peas or cheese and crackers and they don't want that snack. You can say, I'm sorry, I'll use an example, Johnny, I'm sorry Johnny, but you can't have candy right now because the snack being offered is cheese and crackers. I wish I could give you candy as you desire, but this is the snack and this is what we're all having, and you get what you get and you don't get upset. So you can find other strategies to help the child understand that you do understand how they're feeling and you're trying to meet them halfway, but at the same time, you can't empathize all the time to the point where you're just giving them everything that they want, because then that child's just going to be spoiled and they're going to always think that they can get what they want. You need to understand that sometimes there's boundaries. So yes, it is important to have empathy, but you don't always have to have empathy. You don't always let the child feel like they're the center of attention and it's their way or the highway, because that is not a good habit to build. Question number 2. Are you saying our children should know that we agree with their feelings? Yes and no. So agreeing with a child's feelings is a good thing, and disagreeing with a child's feelings can also be a good thing depending on the context. So what do I mean by that? Let's say, for example, that a child is angry about a situation that you got in with the child. Say, for example, the child doesn't want to clean his or her room, and you have asked the child to clean his or her room because it is cleanup time and you're preparing for a new transition. You might be in a classroom or you might be at home and you're trying to get your child to clean up. What do you do when the child gets angry because that child doesn't want to clean up? Well, there are several things you can do, of course, because we always have options. But one of the things that we can do is we can show the child that we're not happy. We don't always have to agree with that child's feelings. That child might be showing you that they're angry, and that child might want you to agree with their anger and say, I understand why you're angry. Because you're angry, you don't have to clean your room anymore. No sir, no ma'am, that is not how you handle the situation. You have to show them that sometimes you can't always agree with their feelings. Sometimes you can say, I understand that you're sad, but you know what? I understand that you're angry. We're going to just go ahead and clean the room anyways, because that's what we're doing. That's what we do, and this is the time to clean up. And then once we're done with this, we can move on to snack, or we can do the next thing that it is that you want to do. But first, there are steps involved. There are rules involved. There are things that we have to do before we move on to the next. That kind of instills habits and rules at a young age, and that discipline is really important. Question number 3. Why can't I just say I understand how you feel to everything? Let's say a child is feeling upset and you just want to say to the child, I understand how you feel all of the time. Well, we talked about this earlier in one of my last videos. We talked about compassion and empathy. You're showing the child that it's okay to just be like, I understand all the time. And that kind of, in a shady way, in a low-key way, you're kind of showing the child that you don't always have to be legitimately honest about your feelings or the way that you are paying attention to that child, or the way that you're approaching a situation. You're showing the child that you can basically be phony. And is that okay? No. We don't want to show our children that we can be phony. Let's be empathetic. Let's be real with our children. And let's instead use different strategies. For example, let's say the child says, I'm really hurt. I bumped my knee. And instead of you saying, I know how you feel, I have a bump on my knee there too, you can say, I'm so sorry. When I was younger, I fell going down the slide too because I wasn't going down the slide the right way, and it really hurt. And I learned we go up the stairs and down the slide. That's a good way to show the child that, sure, you can't really experience the pain that that child is experiencing, but you can relate to it. And that shows them that you understand in a different way. So you don't always have to say, I understand Johnny, or I understand Bobby, or Cynthia. I understand, because you don't always understand, but you can try to understand. Last but not least, is this final question. I find it hard to know how to react when I hear my child say, I hate you, or I don't like you. Let's say, for example, your child says to you, I hate you, or I don't like you. What would you say in response? Would you say, well, that's too bad, or I don't need you to like me? Let's think about some better options. What can you say to your child when your child is angry with you and your child is upset? You can approach it in many ways. One of the ways that I would approach it as an early child care educator is I would say to the child, I can see that you're angry, and it's okay to be angry with me because you don't want to do something right now, or you don't want to follow a rule. That's okay. I understand that you have your own personality and you don't always have to follow the rules. But you know what? We have rules in the classroom, and everyone in the classroom follows the rules. And you're going to follow the rules too. And that's just the bottom line. If you follow the rules, we will have a more fun time in the classroom. Or you can say to the child, I can tell why you're upset with me right now because you don't want to do this. I can see where you're coming from. I can understand why you're telling me that you don't like me right now because I'm making you do something that you don't want to do. But you don't have to take it personal. Remember, that child is 3 years old or 4 years old, or let's say your child is 7 or 8 years old. An important thing to keep in mind is that child is still developing its language and its vocabulary and its emotions and his or her feelings. So sometimes when the child is telling you, I don't like you, instead of taking it personal and feeling like, well, what did I do? Why doesn't the child like me? What did I do wrong? You can think, what is the child really experiencing? What is he or she trying to tell me? What's going on in that child's life that is causing that child to say to you that he doesn't like you or he hates you? Because it's not the truth. The truth is that you take care of that child, that you give that child's every single need to that child. You feed the child, you care for the child, you secure the child, you give it safety, you give it love, you give it comfort, you play with that child. So that child more than likely loves you. In fact, loves you very dearly and is very connected to you and very attached to you. So when a child is saying to you, I hate you or I don't like you, the truth is, you don't have to believe that, and you don't have to take it personal. Try to get to the bottom of the situation and think about why that child is really upset. What's causing that child to say, I hate you or I don't like you? Thanks, and I hope that answering these questions that I got from this book, as usual, that I'm referring to, really help you as an educator, as a teacher, as a parent, because they really help me, and this book is great, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Peace, and make sure you subscribe.